Hey everybody, this is take two on the book haul, and obviously that doesn't affect you at all, but I want you to know because this is my dedication to bring you relatively quality programming. As quality as any programming that is brought to you by me and my webcam is ever going to be. So I have not a whole lot of books this week, so I want to try out something different. It's something I've sort of toyed with doing before. I want to read the book blurbs for each of the books that I got. I only got 3 this week, so that you can hear what they're actually about and I can hear what they're about, and then I'm going to critique them to say why I am or am not excited for them. And then later you can, if you are someone who pays attention to my vlogs, you can totally see whether I was right or wrong about the book when I write my review. So, yeah. Alright. And it'll be interesting. I don't usually pay enough attention to blurbs, and I have the time to do it today, so I'm gonna do it. Anyway, so the first book I got is for the TLC book tour. That is The Serpent of Venice by Christopher Moore. I've heard tons of good things about his books. I own 2 other ones, Sacre Blue and Lamb, but I've never gotten to them, which is the truth of most of the lovely books that you see behind you, although they're actually over there. And I thought signing up for a tour was a way to make me finally try his books. I do love funny books, so here is what The Serpent of Venice is about. Venice, a long, long time ago. 3 prominent Venetians await their most loathsome and foul dinner guest, the erstwhile envoy of Britain and France, and widower of the murdered Queen Cordelia, the rascal fool Pocket. This trio of cunning plotters, the merchant Antonio, the senator Montresor Brabantio, and the naval officer Iago, have lured Pocket to a dark dungeon, promising an evening of spirits and debauchery with a rare Amontillado sherry and Brabantio's beautiful daughter Portia. But their invitation is, of course, bogus. The wine is drugged. The girl isn't even in the city limits. Desperate to rid themselves once and for all of the man who has consistently foiled their grand quest for power and wealth, they have lured him to his death. How can such a small man be such a huge obstacle? But this fool is no fool, and he's got more than a few tricks and hand gestures up his sleeve. Greed, revenge, deception, lust, and a giant but lovable sea monster combine to create another hilarious and bawdy tale from modern comic genius Christopher Moore. So what I'm thinking is that this isn't a traditional Christina book necessarily. However, it's comedic and it sounds like it will have a lot of Shakespeare references. So I am on board. And I just hope that I like it. You never know when you're going, because there are a lot of times that I accept review copies for an author that I've not read but I've heard tons of buzz about, but authors don't always necessarily get better, and it's like, am I better to go ahead and read one, or is it better to make sure I start with the best one? Whatever. I have it now. That's what's happening. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna roll with it. And then from Penguin Adult, I got Moth and Spark by Anne Leonard, and I love this cover. And so here is what Moth and Spark is about. Let's see what we think. Cathan has been a country at peace for centuries, and Prince Corin never expected that to change. But something strange is happening to him. Ever since he came back from the north, there are gaps in his memory. His father's dog doesn't know him, and the king himself is keeping secrets. But there are more pressing matters in Cathan. The fierce Syrian warriors he fought on the way home, the dragons he spotted overhead that seemed to be the emperor's spies, and now that summer court has begun, his mother trying to secure him a wife. When Tam is invited to summer court as the guest of her sister-in-law, she knows she's supposed to be looking for a husband, like all the other young women. But Tam hasn't come husband hunting. Curious by nature, she finds the summer at court too exciting an opportunity to pass up. Besides, most of the courtiers she meets are too silly by far to be husband material. Chance leads Tam and Corin to a meeting in the library. Good choice. And he impulsively asks her to join him for dinner. Tam nearly turns him down. After all, as a commoner, she cannot marry him, and if it's not marriage, there's only one other thing he could be after. But her curiosity wins, and she finds herself at dinner with the Crown Prince of Cathanor himself. Tam is surprised by how easy it is to talk to Corin, and Corin thinks to himself that Tam is the first person to genuinely see him as a man rather than the prince. But more than Tam's status as a commoner threatens to keep them apart, war is coming. As the uneasy peace which has held the empire together begins to crumble, the dragons, the fire keepers, want Corin to free them from their bondage, but no one, not the dragons nor their riders, knows what holds them. Tam's recent discovery that she's a seer could prove the key to unlocking the secrets of the Firekeepers, but only if she can master her power. When the attack comes, Tam and Corin must flee. Now all they have to rely on are their wits, a rogue dragon rider, a village of wizards, and each other. That was a very long blurb, but I am hopeful for this one. I definitely think that unless Leonard messes it up, I will ship this ship because they meet in a library and they are forbidden, but in not a like super dramatic kind of way. I don't know. I just really tend to ship that. Like anything that will get the monarchy to marry a commoner is probably a good thing because inbreeding is not something we should really support. And I just hope it's not all romance and that there will still be a major focus on plot. I feel like the blurb was a little too focused on the romance, and often that leads to a similar sort of thing working out in the book. So I hope there is actually a lot of plot and world building and that the romance is like a nice thread running through for me to ship. And finally, I got my package that was supposed to come in on Wednesday that was blocked by the epic ice storm or epic snowstorm that we got here in Atlanta. We got a whole inch of snow, and so Atlanta had to shut down for like 2.5 days. So it happens. Anyway, so I came home to this box, and inside the box is Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. You can see it's got a thing. It's a very fancy box. And it's this thing inside. We'll come back to that. But there's streamers inside that my cat is going to want to eat. But I'm afraid. He was in the first video twice. And I don't think he's going to show up this time. So sorry about that. I did shake the streamers and it didn't make him come. So we're probably in trouble. And in the fancy bag, the first thing is, you probably heard about this already. I've seen it on Twitter a couple of times. But kind of like there are like birthday cards that'll like play a song when you open them. This will play a trailer and a making of. So like as soon as I open it, it launched.
Deep in the ocean, in a world not so different from our own.
I know you can't see it very well, but I'm going to watch that later. It's pretty cool. And what I find hilarious is that it actually comes with a charger, because I might be like, oh no, I have watched this trailer 50 times and the battery died on this booklet. What will I do without this booklet? Even though I imagine both of these things are online, and passing the booklet around to different people isn't necessarily the best way to do it. But it looks like this charger might fit my cell phone, so this is actually pretty boss. Although I haven't checked that yet. But I think it might fit some device that I have. So that would be quite convenient. And I mean, this is definitely swank. Like, I'm impressed, but I just don't necessarily get the utility of it, to be honest. And there was also a bookmark, which just says Deep Blue. But, you know, hey, bookmark, hey-o. And here's the book itself, Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. The cover was only just revealed, so, you know, last week I would have had to be like, look, it's secret cover. You can't see the actual cover. But now I don't have to do that. And I would have had to use that really stupid voice that I just used, because apparently that's what I do when I have a secret. No one else can know. Arr! Oh, Ellis is not going to let that go. Anyway. So here is the blurb for Deep Blue. When Seraphina, a mermaid of the Mediterranean Sea, awakens on the morning of her betrothal, her biggest worry should be whether the handsome Prince Maudie still has feelings for her. Yet Sarah finds herself haunted by strange dreams that foretell the return of an ancient evil. Her dark premonitions are confirmed when an assassin's arrow poisons Sarah's mother. Now Seraphina must embark on a quest to find the assassin's master and prevent a war between the mer nations. Led only by her shadowy dreams, Sarah and her best friend Neela search for 4 other mermaid heroines who are scattered across the 6 seas. Together they will form an unbreakable bond of sisterhood and uncover a conspiracy that threatens their world's very existence. This is the start of a new series, and I like that it sounds like it's mostly just about the ladies and that it's not really about the romance. And I hope that that is actually how that plays out. I really love romance, but I keep saying I hope this isn't about the romance. Here's the thing: is I like things to have romance. I'm not a big fan of too many books that don't have any romance. Even just a little bit. Like it doesn't. Nothing really ever has to come of it. I just want something to root for, and it's just that I don't necessarily want the romance to be the whole plot line unless it's, a contemporary or a romance novel. Contemporary historical are pretty much the only things that I'm ever okay with focusing on the romance. I just hope all of these turn out well. I hope everything turns out well. I've had a streak of bad reads and I am over it. I want to read all the happy things. I don't want to love everything. And I doubt this is going to happen, but I will keep dreaming. And I hope you guys got wonderful things and that you have not been having streaks of bad books. Bye, everybody.